And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with our NFL segment of episode 170 of the SplashCast. I got a few things we're going to talk about today. Not much. We'll run down some stuff. The Bears suck. They're 0-7 after starting out 4-2. The 49ers about to pay Brock Purdy, which is something they got to do.
The Bears suck. I think the Eberflus put them in a bad situation. They're trying to figure themselves out. I do like that there is not. I mean, there are other teams that are fighting each other. I do give the Bears credit for being men about it. Ain't nobody coming to save us. We're men. We got to figure it out. We're going to talk about when we get to the...
Yeah, it's easy to say that. When your plan ain't worked, they had a 3-year plan that didn't work. They set this Caleb Williams move up and all of this stuff 3 years ago.
I mean, you tried it. I don't think that you had the right coach. I think that you've identified the right coach now. Now you got to let him build the staff.
Who?
But
Thomas Brown?
Yes.
He ain't staying there.
100%.
Interim.
100.
They already talking about going to get your boy. 2 people are already on the list. Cliff Kingsbury and Lincoln Riley. Already on the list.
I think that will beget more problems, but that's not a problem for me. I think that I like him, and that's fine. If he doesn't, I do think that he will land on his feet with just as many opportunities. But yeah, for me, I think that the Bears should be given a chance with a decent coach. I think that he is the guy. And I think that they think that he's the guy because clearly he went from running backs coach to offensive coordinator to head coach. If y'all keep me giving these responsibilities because you think something of me. Now, it's still the Bears. So there's high propensity that they will mess it up. That comes with the territory.
They're definitely going to mess it up. They're going to mess it up 1,000%.
And them not picking Thomas Jones probably further proves that they can't make good decisions.
Thomas Brown.
But you can't Thomas Brown, you're right. Thomas Jones, somebody. Running back?
Nope. Yep. University of Virginia, then played at the New York Jets and then became an actor on Power.
Correct.
CJ Stroud, sophomore slump, is kicking his ass. Bryce Young is doing really, really well. And folks are saying CJ Stroud isn't what we thought he was. Or they're saying he was missing Nico Collins. That's why I do think Nico played a big role in his step back. But the obvious answer is Bryce Young has been sacked 7 times. CJ Stroud is at 19. That is 4 sacks a game. That is difficult in any way, shape, or form. Also, you playing different teams.
That's the reason I say every time, just stop moving. I know y'all probably get tired of me saying that all the time on podcasts. I feel like, but since I've been podcasting, I see so many people who are willing to become prisoners of the moment. We're going to talk about the Eagles. I told y'all last week they could be had. Immediately almost had by this very gentleman here. Same thing with Bryce Young. Bryce Young doesn't suck.
I don't think anybody said that.
You benched him for no reason.
Oh, yeah.
Reggie.
What?
You said that the Eagles
were the best. Oh, no. I said, I thought you were talking about Bryce Young. I do think the Eagles are one of the best teams in the league. If not, they are the number 2 team in the NFC. I said that last week.
Okay. So this week, the only reason that the Eagles, the number 2 team in the NFC, lost to the Carolina Panthers, who are probably 3rd worst team in the NFL, is because of drop pass from Xavier Leggett.
Correct.
I don't know anybody else who I hold in that high regard who I think who could lose to the Panthers. I don't think the Mahomes lose to the Panthers. Not a chance.
Mahomes, they literally almost lost to the Panthers last week.
You're right. That was true. I was wrong.
In the same fashion, did they block the field goal?
I also don't put Kansas City in. Kansas City's, I shouldn't have brought them up because they're a whole different conundrum. But
I
at
put
the end of the
Kansas
day,
City
like
and
I said,
Philadelphia in the same position. I think Kansas City,
I
the best team in the AFC. Well, not the best team. They're the number one seed in the AFC, top 2 team, but they can be had just as well.
for surely can be had. But what I'm here for is y'all have to stop overreacting in the moment. Bryce Young doesn't suck. He didn't suck. He's on a shitty team with poor everything. And I mean, he should have won this week. He threw Xavier Leggett the ball. He dropped it. It's a touchdown.
He dropped it.
When you beat the Eagles. It's that simple. But a couple weeks ago, they was talking about, oh, well, yeah, the Panthers looking to move on from Bryce Young.
Yes, which was premature. But it's also part of that is because you brought in a new regime too. Anytime you bring in a new regime, they're going to look to move on from you because you're not their hand-picked quarterback. When you hand-pick a quarterback, also with the way that he was picked, not by the coaching staff, but by the owner's wife, that always lends into it. The benching part and the non-development of the quarterback, I 100% agree with you. I didn't walk back my stance, but I even gave more context to my thought on Anthony Richardson. I think they did him the same thing I said with Bryce Young. I think they did him a disservice. He was drafted the same way. There was CJ Stroud, to me, is a better quarterback out of those three. More NFL ready than those three. But he went to the Texans. He went to the best situation. He went and had the best coordinators along with a new coach and a good defense. Well, I'm going to tie the coordinators into Sam Darnold. So he went to the best situation with the best coordinators, and that then allowed him to progress at a slower rate. Bryce Young went to a terrible situation. Anthony Richardson was drafted to be a project. He was drafted to not start. Then you started him and said, hey, he's not ready to start. And then you benched him without even bringing him. No, I'm sorry. You drafted him, he started, and then he got hurt because he wasn't ready to start. Everything about it, from the nuances about playing quarterback, throwing the ball over the middle, learning how to slide, all of those things, he was not ready to start. Right?
Correct.
Then you start him, and then you bring in Gardner Minshew, who ends up taking this team, because at the time, the team was actually good to make it to the playoffs. And then you let Gardner Minshew go, and then you let him start without any development because he hurt his shoulder, because you shouldn't have started him in the beginning. Yeah.
No, not Bryce. That was Andy Dalton, not Gardner Minshew.
I'm talking about Anthony Richardson.
Oh, you're talking about Anthony Richardson last year when Gardner Minshew. Yeah.
Yeah. So you set him up, and then you throw him in there with no development. You criticize him in the offseason. You did throw him in there. You take away Jonathan Taylor. I don't know what y'all doing with Jonathan Taylor. And then you don't add any receivers, and you set him up. It's this. Even if he wasn't ready to start, you made him worse than he was.
That's my frustration with them, and the same thing I kind of believe about the Cleveland Browns is you're asking people who it's not their job to do a job. The Browns want to blame Jameis. Jameis is a backup. Nick Chubb especially with Watson out, the team was always supposed to go where Nick Chubb took him. Nick Chubb run for 60 yards, then we're gonna lose. and Jameis get out there and he's entertaining and magical. He does all of those things. So people, now it's easy to blame him. Oh, he threw interceptions. Well, yeah, the reason he threw interceptions because y'all couldn't get the running game going because your offensive line is decimating. The running game is just not there. He threw for 500 yards. Why did y'all put the game in Jameis's hand? If you go, there's not a game where you're like, you know what, Jameis, you gonna win it for us. Boy, you paying Nick Chubb. You know how I feel. The responsibility goes with the person who gets paid the money. Anthony Richardson, good or bad, Jonathan Taylor is the leader of that team. He's the person who's supposed to make the offense go. He's the person who y'all
pissed off.
Negotiated in poor faith, and then y'all got right because you knew your bread was buttered and paid him. So I don't like the situation where Anthony Richardson is supposed to be a compliment, not the feature.
Not yet.
You're holding him to us. Yeah. Like that was the whole purpose is he has a strong running game and he's supposed to make some plays with his athleticism, but he's not supposed to be throwing 30, 40, 50 times a game. That's why you have Jonathan Taylor. And if you're not going to get that out of Jonathan Taylor, then you need to trade him and reallocate the money. You need to get a better offensive line.
Yeah. And unfortunately for Anthony Richardson, I see what they were trying to do. They were trying to put him on a Josh Allen plan, is what they're trying to do. They're trying
to let him be Josh. Like Josh Allen sucked first.
That's what I'm saying. If you're going to allow him to do that, you can't have it both ways. You either got to commit to it and allow him to go get his lumps, or you got to sit him like Jordan Love and allow him to learn how to read defenses. But you can't do both.
Exactly.
And they kept trying to do both, and that is a detriment to him. And now we starting to see, okay, well, as long as I don't throw the ball extremely hard across the middle and I put some touch on it, hey, maybe I can complete a few passes. I still don't read the defense as well, but I can still run over this safety at the goal line. I can do that. Like,
yes.
So,
and then go back and throw the 2-point conversion to win the game. He punished that dude too. That's
what happens.
Like, you're right. You can see it. You can see how this works.
Yeah, he's Josh Allen.
Because they didn't even we talked about last week when they won the game at the end of the game, which I like. They went for 2
over the Patriots,
and that play, the numbers matched up. It wasn't even like an advantage. It was just like man versus man. We're gonna beat their men. I would have liked to see him probably run in space a little bit more, but at the end of the day, business decision. He won.
They put Quentin Nelson there. They pulled Quentin Nelson, and he went right through there, eliminated that linebacker. I was like, oh, it's the safety versus 6. At that point, it's no longer positions. It's 5'11", 185 versus 6'4", 240. Always going.
Correct. So a good decision here.
So you got your quarterbacks that are starting to feel their way out, but following up on the Giant argument, if y'all have a chance, go back, and I put it on there as its own segment. Ladd McConkey discussion from last week. Y'all go back and listen. That is a great discussion.
Ladd McConkey is a really good receiver in the NFL.
He is. Right now. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. 100%. I think he's the number 1 rookie receiver, right? He is. Speaking of somebody else that Norwood said wasn't going to be good, Brock Bowers.
I was wrong here. No, shut up. I was unfamiliar with your game, bro.
Ow. Got me. He beat y'all 3 years in a row.
I'm a own up and say no. I didn't say he was I said he was a monster in college. When he was at Georgia, you can listen to the podcast. I said, oh, he's scary. I said that a bunch of times. It was never that he wasn't good at Georgia. I said all of the praises when he was at Georgia. I did not think that he was going to be able to create the level of separation.
I said he got tight hips is what you said.
It's still, he catches the ball better than I thought, to be completely honest. When I saw him make that one-hand catch
against Kansas City,
yeah, the hands.
He did that in Georgia.
It don't matter. It don't matter. It's a
whole everything he did at Georgia, he's doing at LA with less talent.
I was wrong about that. And
we're talking about Brock Bowers. We never said his name. We're talking about Brock Bowers. He leads rookie tight end. He leads rookie tight ends in NFL with more catches in NFL history, with the game evolving. Brock Bowers is scary good. What I really wanted to focus, because this is going to lead us into other conversations, is Kyle Pitts with Matt Ryan has 68 catches in 14 games. And he's number 6 on this list. And he has totally lost his way. And
he out of there, yo.
He's digressed so bad, but we'll get to it. But yeah, Brock Bowers he's doing this with no quarterback. He had no quarterback before the no quarterback hurt his leg. The no quarterback hurt his leg, and now he really ain't got no quarterback, and he still had like 7 catches.
The other part about this is, and this is not hate, but
get
it's the
more
same
weapons.
thing I've said about. Number one, you're gonna get I know Antonio Pierce is hoping not to have to throw Brock the ball 87 times a season. And tape makes it difficult for all of us. It is just what it is.
Well, what you're hoping is, because the tape is the game plan around him, which is what you're going to do. I don't expect him to, because he's on pace to get 100. He's on pace to have 110 catches this year. Full stop. Yep. Because there's nowhere else to throw him the ball. Nowhere else to throw the ball. He's the only big-bodied receiver that they have. They're going to get some more pass catchers. Free agency or in the draft, they're going to get some pass catchers.
If Raiders and the Raiders I don't feel bad for the Raiders. I'm happy they drafted him, but ultimately they sabotaged their own season by never fulfilling the quarterback position. And Jameis was there. I'm going to go to my grave saying Jameis was there.
But that's on purpose. Jameis gets them to number 10 instead of number 2. Which means you have to trade up.
You ain't getting nothing at 2 that's going to change your season next year.
You ain't getting
honestly, you still need 2 quarterbacks.
They are locked in on Shedeur. And they are not going to get Shedeur or Cam Ward at 10. They would have to trade up. And they have money and picks. And it ain't going to, unless somebody becomes available that I don't see who could possibly come available, they're going to go get one of them quarterbacks. So, which means in the free agency, they're going to sign offensive line.
You better go get you a quarterback. If you know what's good for you, you better get your quarterback and let that dude develop. You should, honestly, we finna talk about your boy Kirk in a second. That needs to be his next stop.
He ain't leaving. Kirk ain't leaving. But yeah, we'll get to it. And then finally, before we get to the Falcons,
you ever been evicted?
Yeah. Wasn't my fault though.
Okay then.
Stupid roommate.
Did you plan on leaving that day?
Nope.
When they said gather your things, what you do?
Left all their stuff in there and got mine and left.
Exactly. Kirk, they finished. Yeah. Whenever you're ready to talk about Kirk, I'm ready.
Well, before we get to Kirk, I think Kirk is the passing version of Justin Tucker right now. Justin Tucker was the best kicker.
Hell no.
In the world. Justin Tucker was the best kicker in the world, football place kicker in the world. Wasn't even close. In the NFL. He was the best one for the last, gotta say, at least 5 to. He was the offensive juggernaut of the Ravens while the Ravens were trying to figure it out.
Correct.
I have never seen somebody. I haven't seen somebody fall off a cliff like this since Marcin Gramatica. Y'all remember Gramatica? The Gramatica brothers? They were both all pros, and they both tore their ACL the same year, and then they just were terrible after that. Couldn't make a kick. This the same thing without the ACL. The Ravens have lost 5 games this year by 22 points.
That boy thinks he is J. Cole, the true fall off.
He has missed 22 points worth of missed kicks, either the field goals and extra points. Is Justin Tucker. He needs a sports psychologist.
No, sometimes, like, first, once again, what do I say every time we talk about basketball makes and misses?
So the
misses is gonna show up. The misses is gonna show up,
but not at all at the same time.
Didn't all your makes show up at the same time?
We've already put him in the he was already in the Hall of Fame. He was in the Hall of Fame.
Part about it. And I mean, is he not now? I'm not ready to have the Justin Tucker Hall of Fame conversation. I don't think that. This is more unfortunate because it's the Ravens. What do you do? Not get Justin Tucker? No, it just sucks.
You're gonna let him go, and he's gonna end up going to the Chiefs or the Bills, and he's gonna kick a game-winning field goal against y'all. Y'all gonna be sick. So you can't let him go. But
I mean, no. At the end of the season, it's gonna be some long, hard looks.
Especially if they get eliminated in the first round.
If I'm Lamar, I'm doing too much. Now, Lamar, I think this is all your fault.
Whoa. Why?
Because he never used his influence properly.
For the kicker?
Now, I honestly don't think that. I think that you should have a receiver where you're not worried about it coming, these games being that close.
He missing extra points.
That is a problem, sure, but he's also missing field goals.
You're not gonna score another receiver. Not gonna take away field goals. You still gonna kick field goals.
Yeah, but I think that you play a lot of these. If you have a legitimate receiver, these games are not field goal games. And that's just my opinion.
Possibly disagree. They in the second best division in football. Yeah.
With
NFC North,
Cleveland.
It's them and Pittsburgh. Baltimore, Pittsburgh is the number 2 seed in the AFC.
Yeah, but I mean,
they lost to Cleveland.
The Browns suck.
They lost to Cleveland.
And the Steelers are. The Browns suck.
They lost to them. They beat the Bengals by 3. Do we think the Bengals suck?
Kind of. The Bengals are the same thing we said from the beginning of the season. This roster looks really good, but something here is a fly in the milk. Something is weird. And we were 100% right. We talked about Trey Hendrickson wanting to get out of there. T. Higgins being
disgruntled. That's why I put him at 3rd. I was like, man, I don't know what's happening over there.
It doesn't I don't care who you are. When it comes to football, the Bengals don't make sense because Jamar Chase and fucking Joe Burrows
just had 14 catches for 150-something yards and 2 touchdowns with the game-winning touchdown. And they are 5-8, y'all. They're better than the Falcons. They will kill the Falcons today. They are better than the Falcons.
But I don't even know how to quantify why they suck so bad, but they do suck.
Trey Henderson is a top 5.
Give opinion.
Trey Henderson is a top 5 defensive. We're gonna get to. I promise you, get into the Falcons. Trey Henderson is a top 5 defensive end. I think he's top 3 in sacks behind T.J. Watt and one other person. Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow are top 2 in receivers and quarterbacks. I think Joe Burrow and they might be 1 apiece. T. Higgins is back healthy and he's really good.
Oh, they say he is going to be the highest touted free agent next year, period. And I'm like, might be right.
Yeah. You know where he about to go. Patrick Mahomes already locked in for 50. Right on over there to Kansas City. You be receiver number 1, Denard Hopkins at number 2. Travis Kelce may play another year. Or they going to trade a draft pick or a defensive player for, nope. I know what they're going to do. They're going to trade a draft pick or a defensive player for Kyle Pitts. If I'm Kansas City, that's what I do. And go win 7 more championships. Kyle Pitts, T. Higgins, and Denard Hopkins, and a fast person.
He's already locked in. Kelce not retiring at the end of the season. And why would you? Ain't they undefeated?
They got 1 loss.
Oh, you're right. You think I'm going to retire? And we had hey, Pat, you trying to run this back? Me too.
Yep. All right, so we talked about the Eagles already. They won because Xavier Leggett dropped the ball. A guy that bet $3 million on the Eagles to win. I don't even know what the payout could be for you to pick the Eagles over the Panthers. The payout has to be $3 million. Like, you have to just get your money back, basically. Like, the odds can't be that crazy.
You got 3. Yeah, they can't be that crazy. If you bet $3 million, you probably win like, say, $150K, maybe $1 million. But
you almost lost. You almost lost $3 million.
But you didn't. You sleep all right.
And then Saquon Barkley breaks LaShawn McCoy's single season rushing record. Shout out to the Giants. Once again, y'all flying banners over talking about sell the team, and Saquon out there for only $2 million more has this team playing out of their mind.
Giants, y'all are the stupidest organization. Let's just talk about the city of New York as a whole. You're looking real dumb in the face.
Yeah.
Giant.
Desperate.
Terrible. Jets. Terrible. Yankees. Lost Soto.
Mets.
Mets.
Paid Soto.
Overpaid for Soto. What is y'all doing?
Brooklyn. Boo-boo. The Knicks. Y'all tried to figure it out. Might have self-sabotage.
Right.
The Long Islanders. I don't know about hockey, but I'm assuming that they bad too because y'all not good at anything else.
The city of New York needs to think long and hard.
Y'all, you listen, that whole mid-Atlantic Northeast region. Because we talked about DC. Y'all need to follow suit, Washington.
DC. I ain't even as crazy as that sounds. I'm not lumping y'all in there. The city of New York is Gotham.
Yeah, it's bad.
No bad.
All right. So we talked about the Eagles. We're not gonna get too far into it. We are now.
One more thing before we talk about the Falcons.
Go ahead while I pull up everything. You got it.
I told y'all so about them Eagles. The Eagles are a sham and a scam. Everybody, and by everybody, this was Reggie. Reggie said that they was good. I said, no, my eye test says that they're mediocre. They're still mediocre today. If you're in a dogfight with the Panthers and you not a one-loss team,
I'm throwing it. Hey, y'all, I tell you. See this? This the goalpost.
And I heard that when you opened it.
That's the goalpost right there.
I heard that. Oh, okay.
I'm off tomorrow.
No.
I'm off on Tuesday.
I say, I hate that. I hate that. Hate. But I'll tell y'all every week, it's certain people you can't compare yourself to. Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, 1 and 2. Whatever they're doing, don't think that you can't do that.
Who's better, the Eagles or the Bills?
Bills.
Out of your mind. I think the Eagles defense is insane. The Eagles defense is insane. Jalen Carter and
hold on.
What's his name? Him and Cooper, Ebony and Ivory, because I can't remember their names. Ebony and Ivory out there, and the other one, Quinyon Mitchell. Two. Them Ebony and Ivory. It's easier. Them two, along with, and they just plug and play. And Nakobe Dean. They got 6 players on defense 5 players on defense that are good. And they plug and play everybody else. And let me tell you, it's working. But that offense, AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts don't like each other, which is crazy because they were friends. And it's now known that they don't like each other.
Well, there's this guy who has this podcast, and this is their 170th episode. And that guy told you, hey, you shouldn't pay Jalen Hurts all that money, because when you pay him all that money, you're going to then not have the same weapons that he had before. Now, and once you pay him, the expectation is for him to compensate for the players that you no longer have because you're paying him.
What weapons did they lose?
Their offensive line ain't the same.
Shitting me. It's the exact same, actually. It's the exact same.
Well, it's definitely not exact same because Kelsey's not there. But for me,
he retired. Okay, he retired. They ain't lose nobody because out of free agency.
Yeah, but I mean, retirement or not, you lose him, you got to replace him.
That doesn't support your point, though. They did replace him. They're the number 4 team on offense. They're the number 4 off. Let me see. I think it was 4. Might have been 6. They're top 10 offensive team.
Jalen Hurts was and is an overpay. I said day one he was an overpay. I said that you should leave some of that money, and you didn't. So now I don't want to hear nothing. Him and AJ Brown don't get along. Well, take some of that money out your pocket and give it to him so he shuts up.
Give it to who? AJ?
I don't care.
No, you just trade AJ. Maybe. Remember, AJ getting paid $100-something million too. You can go get somebody.
Oh! You think the answer is trade AJ Brown? How the last team work out after they traded AJ Brown?
Oh no, they didn't have the Eagles. They didn't have everything that the Eagles had.
No. But trade him then.
Yeah,
trade him. I dare you to trade him. Then you'll really see how good Jalen Brown is. I mean, Jalen Hurts is there.
Will
do it
because remember they're playing right now. They don't have Devontae. What's his name? Devontae Smith. He been out 3-4 games. That's a big piece that's missing.
I don't want to hear that because Baker and Tampa Bay are doing. They did it without Godwin and they did it without Mike Evans.
They
went
lost.
out there with Cade. Yes, but barely. They were fighting without their wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2, and then playing with some nobodies. And I mean, let's be real. They're in the front. They're at the top of the NFC South.
That ain't because of them.
But this is what I'm saying is,
it ain't because of them.
I don't care what happens to the Eagles. I predicted this. I knew it was eventual, and now I'm just here to watch and see it happen. I wish you could bring up the Elmo with the fire. That's how I feel about this situation. It was only a matter of time before this exploded.
Mind you, he's talking about this. They are 11-2. Mind you, he's saying all of this, and they are 11-2.
Just like the Steelers. Steelers have got a good record. They're a mediocre team with a good record.
I think Pittsburgh. Well, we're gonna see because they play each other Sunday. So the Steelers and the Eagles play. They play each other Sunday. But impossible. So you're saying there's only one good team in the NFC? Then there's only one good team.
Yeah, I think that I've said that a bunch of times. Parity has been. It's been more
that is
even.
The opposite of parity. If there's one team in the whole conference that's good, that's literal opposite of parity.
Well, not technically. If everybody is just mostly kind of good, then yeah.
No, you said mid. So, see what I mean?
Yes, the quality state of being equal or equivalent. The majority of the teams in the NFC are equal. That is parity.
No, they aren't. Okay. In your eyes.
Wait, so are you telling me that the majority of teams in the NFC are not equal?
I think there are 3 good teams.
You a lie. You a lie.
You got Detroit. You got
hold on.
Philly.
3 good teams in the NFC North. How do you have only 3 good teams?
Okay, 4 teams. No, it's 4. It's 4 because I don't necessarily believe in Minnesota. I don't believe in Minnesota.
Segue to the Falcons.
Exactly. That's why I did it. But I don't believe in Minnesota. They beat the Falcons, the Giants, the hurt 49ers. They beat the Jets. They lost to the Rams. They beat the Colts. No Anthony Richardson. They beat the Jaguars 12-7. They beat the Titans. They beat the Bears. They beat the Cardinals, and they beat the Bears. They ain't really beat nobody. That's why I don't necessarily believe in them. So if the same argument that you make about not beating anybody, not doing this, you did the same thing with the Eagles last week. You literally did the exact same thing. It's the same thing that I do with the Vikings. I don't think the Vikings are good. With that being said, I know who's bad. It's the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons had the teams with the most at stake. If we had won this game, which I had us winning because they had Scam Darnold, they would have had.
To call him that anymore.
Not after we made it. We the slump busters. After we had a 77%. Hold on. Let me get through there. 77% chance to win the division if we had won. We lost. So now we have a 46% chance, and the Buccaneers have a 65% chance of winning. So we knew what was at stake when we got in the game. Kirk Cousins threw. I don't even know what graphic you want me to pull up of mid. Kirk Cousins.
No, go back. No. Go back to the one where that one right there. Then hit the no. Go back. Now hit the little side arrow right there. That's the one.
Kirk Cousins. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Kirk Cousins in the last 4 games has thrown 8. Count them, 8, not touchdown. 8 interceptions and 0 touchdowns. I'm going to say that again. Kirk Cousins has thrown 8 interceptions and 0 touchdowns. It is one of the worst 4-game issues or 4-game runs that you could have at a quarterback. It's actually very awful. So Kirk Cousins has been bad. He threw another 2 interceptions. And the thing about this game is we were in the game. We were in the game. Kirk Cousins threw that first interception at the end of the second quarter. And I was like, oh, this is when it's about to get away from us. He threw an interception. They returned it down into the red zone. They scored a touchdown. We'll get to the defense again. They kicked the ball off. Ray McCloud fumbles the kickoff. They score another touchdown. All of a sudden,
after having a really good game, Ray, I
he had
feel
a great
bad for
game.
Ray because he played his ass off. Just like,
and we lost. We ended up going down instead of being tied because we were about to take the lead. We were tied and about to take the lead. Instead of that, we ended up. Then we had a 3 and out, and they scored again. Justin Jefferson and just ran around circles around our defense, and they were up 21 points going into the fourth quarter. It went from 10-10, 17-14, somewhere in there to like 35-14. Immediate, 35-13 or something like that. Immediate, within 5 minutes. All because of Kirk Cousins.
All right, so click the left arrow there, please. Left. I want to go back. That right? No, right there. All right. Raheem Morris on if he will consider starting Michael Penix. Kirk Cousins is our quarterback. This is the second week in a row that Raheem Morris has had to tell the world that Kirk Cousins is the quarterback.
I'm going to let you get all your head coach. I got a lot to say. Go ahead, brother. You got
it. If your coach has to consistently remind the rest of the world that you're the head, that you're the starting QB, that's a sign. That is for sure a sign, and not a good sign. It's a sign that your time, what they say when you buy a woman a watch, your time is almost up. When you buy a pair of shoes, she's going to walk out on you. Kirk is bad. And Raheem, I like you. I support you. No, I like you. I'm not sure if I support you. If you don't, you're on mute. You're on mute.
I was about to say, you and I have been potting a long time because like is cool. Support is contextual.
If you don't win the NFC South and they fire you,
damn, what happened? Hold on. Don't know where Norwood went. He's not there. He's still in the chat, though. That boy whole computer died. Well, we gonna see. Let's see, y'all. Appreciate you for following, and subscribing. Y'all make sure y'all tune in.
I'm here.
There he is. Fired you was the last thing you said.
Yes. So if they fire you, bro. You haven't done enough. In Tampa Bay, like I said, they lost Godwin, they lost Mike Evans, and continue to play competitively. We haven't been the most healthy, but we've had more health than them. So if you lose, it's on you. And Raheem, your strategy ain't great. Your play calling, Zach Robinson, ain't great. Your execution and just your football ain't great. You're playing from a space of trying to hold it in the road instead of trying to win. And the lack of killer instinct is now costing you. I remember one of them drives, we punted the ball to gain like 7 yards.
No. We lost fucking 7 yards. We punted the ball, down the ball at the 13. They did some stupid ass shit, and we ended up taking the penalty to make it 4th and 1. And then we went and then decided to try to draw them off sides, and then burn the timeout, and then punted the ball, and it went into the end zone, and they got the ball at the 20 instead of the 13. Stupid ass. I'm sorry. That was stupid. Stupid.
You have too many of those type of things. Now, Kirk Cousins, this is the reason that they structured this contract the way that they did. You have not thrown a touchdown in a month. Now, I know at my job, we have deliverables. And I need to deliver on those consistently. Back on mute.
Weekly.
And I don't know. I can't bump for you if you go a month and don't throw a touchdown. Sorry. Nothing for you. You're actually now passing the point of mid and getting now to bad. Now, if you could pull up the comparisons between him, Desmond Ridder, and Taylor Heineke. Deja vu? Yes. And if you look, Desmond Ridder, Taylor Heineke, 6-6, 227 completions out of 368, 61% completion percentage, 2,500 yards, 15 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 33 sacks, 8 fumbles, 6 fumbles lost, 15 turnovers. Kirk, you. Same thing. Now, I give you a little bit of credit because you're also mentoring, doing some leadership things that we were never going to get out of Ridder and Heineke. But they were at 62%. You're at 68%. You got an extra 500 yards, which was that one really good game that you played. 17 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. You got more interceptions. You have more interceptions than Taylor Heineke and Desmond Ridder.
I understand this graphic. I think it's one-sided. I don't think it's fair because they're also playing in the Arthur Smith offense. And also Desmond Ridder is mobile. Kirk Cousins is not. So a lot of Desmond Ridder stuff, a lot of Kirk Cousins, they are bad reads, but it's a lot more because he can't move. So if it's not his first read, he's stuck. He panics. Like he is more planted than Tom. He needs to go sit with Tom Brady and be like, "Yo, how did you move in the pocket? Your Achilles don't affect you to move 8 feet to the left, to the right, to the front, to the back."
I get what you're saying, but for me, this is not about like them two versus him. It's that we paid a lot more money to get very similar results. And as much as I didn't love Arthur Smith, I mean, is Zach Robinson, Raheem Morris really doing that much better?
Fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck no. I told y'all about Zach Robinson. First off, I'm going to get in my bag because I tried to be positive because I'm a Falcons fan and I'm optimistic. I tried to be, when I said, I told y'all from the get-go, I didn't understand why the fuck we signed Kirk Cousins. I told y'all from the get-go. I said, this shit don't make no sense. Norwood talked me into it. He said, hey, no. Okay, we signed him. He's going to get all this money in the first part. We're going to get a lot of money. Cool. Then we drafted Michael Penix. Let me tell you something. I like Michael Penix. I think if he can stay healthy, he's probably the best quarterback in that draft. It didn't make sense with allocating all of that money to Kirk Cousins to then draft a quarterback because you needed to address other positions, and you allocated so much money to him that you could not address other positions. And you fucking tampered. You tampered with somebody who nobody else was going after. It's not like it was 10 teams. It was you and the Vikings. And you tampered. This ain't on nobody else but you, Terry Fontenot. This is who I blame. I don't blame Raheem Morris. I don't blame Zach because you are the one that did this. You tampered with Kirk Cousins, got us losing draft picks. You then used a draft pick. We had the number 8 draft pick, a lottery pick. Jared Verse is probably going to be defensive player of the year, if rookie of the year, if not for Quinyon Mitchell or Latu or Cooper DeJean. It's one of them 4. Let me tell you who was available at number 8. All 4 of them motherfuckers. They was all available. Didn't draft none of them. You didn't draft. You could have even traded back. You could have even traded back to 10. No, I'm finished. Let me finish. You did that. You then did not address the second corner. You brought in Mike Hughes, who has been generally a off-ball safety or nickelback his entire career at Buffalo. You bring in Mike Hughes. D. Alford, cool. I like him. He's a good nickelback. You didn't do nothing. You brought in for the defense, your boy that don't play well. The dude that came from New England. I'll think of it in a second. You brought him in. Off an Achilles tear. The motherfucker ain't good. He's not good. Matthew Judon, that's what I'm thinking of. Off an Achilles tear. He has no explosiveness. You didn't add anything. You added nobody else. You didn't add no defensive ends. At the trade deadline, there were 5 defensive ends and 2 cornerbacks that were available, and you got none of them. 0. You didn't add nobody. Talking about, well, we had a trade in place for Azeez Ojulari, but who's coming off an ACL tear, by the way. But the Giants didn't put in the paperwork. Fuck that. No. There were so many other people. Let me finish. There were so many other people that you could have gotten. This is on nobody else, and I hate to do this because y'all know I'm for the blacks. But Terry Fontenot, every move you have or have not made since of the offseason has not panned out. You are literally 0 for 5. There is no other move. Not one.
See, I put this more on Raheem and Zach.
You hired Raheem.
Raheem is he's milquetoast to me. Just bland. He's supposed to be these connectors of humans. I'm not seeing the connection.
Looks lost.
Zach Robinson, we tried. That ain't the answer. We have too many weapons for this not to work.
And you don't even use Tyler Algier. I'm going to put myself on mute because I'm going to do this a lot.
That does piss me off. And I've said it every year. I think that Tyler Algier should be RB1. I think that Bijan, we should, especially with what we're not doing with Kyle Pitts, Bijan needs to be in the slot a lot more. This offense is the offense is trash. It looked good those couple weeks that Kirk threw for 400, 500 yards. But outside of that, it's middling. Middling at best.
Misappropriation of funds. Misappropriation of funds. Misappropriation of funds. Misappropriation of funds.
Judon, I don't know why Atlanta loves to get the guys who are over the hill and try to get. I mean, we did it with Calais. We just continuously do it. I mean, honestly, for all of this, we probably could have kept Bud Dupree,
who had 2 sacks, by the way, against the Chiefs. It's
so frustrating because I have 2 teams who have 2 positions that no matter what happens in life, they just won't ever fix them. The Atlanta Falcons will just never be able to get a defensive end. I don't know what we did in any past life for anybody in the organization.
Down them churches. You know what we did? We built Mercedes. And she said, whatever you do won't be. She said it. She went just like that to the camera. And that we have not been the same. We went 28-3 and we ain't been the same since. I'm telling you, it's that lady. And I don't wish death on nobody, but it's gonna be a long time. Hawks, she healthy too.
Just the Atlanta Hawks will not, in a reasonable manner, address the backup point guard position, and in both of those places, leaves us with massive gaping holes in our game where we just cannot finish. We can't, and I want to say that the pass rush has improved recently.
They were good.
The last 2 games, they finally showed up. Now, it's probably...
You got Lorenzo. You got a lot of people back healthy. But that's the fucking par for the course. We ain't never had a complete game.
Exactly.
He never had no goddamn complete game.
It's a dot like...
Cussing and shit.
And that is on Raheem Morris. You can't get one... You can't be coaching on one side and then the other side just go to shit.
You can't come out of the goddamn bye week and score 10 points and throw 4 interceptions. You can't do that under the bye week. They ain't had no receiver. They only had Ladd McConkey, who is or is not good, depending on who you talk to. They only had 1 receiver, and we lost 17-10. One.
We almost lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with no receivers. What are you talking about? Cade Otton almost beat us.
That was y'all get. I told you, you reap what you sow. You didn't get the defensive end. I said it at the beginning of the season. I said you didn't draft the second cornerback. I said it at free agency. I said, hey, you got to do something. You got to add something, and you decided to stand pat. This is what you get, Terry. This is what you get. You gonna get fired.
Hey,
you gonna get fired.
Hey, Raheem, let me tell if I can tell you anything in this little bit of time that you may or may not have left, go out in the blaze of glory. That scary shit is not working for you. That tentative, timid, you look scared, you look shook. Play to win. That's the one thing I love about Dan Campbell is playing to win every damn time.
Every play. Every 4th and 1, we in field goal range. We run it. I want to take their soul. I don't want to just win the game. I want to take their soul. That's what I'm talking about, dog.
Falcons play not to lose. Dan Campbell got the Lions playing to punch you in the damn face.
And you know what's crazy about this game? You brought it up earlier. I'm trying to make sure we stay on track because I could really go off, but I'm really trying to hold my tongue because my daughter's asleep. Sam Darnold had 5 TDs today. Kirk Cousins had 0. I'm sorry, Sunday. Today's Monday. They both threw for the exact same amount of yardage and the exact same completions. 22 of 28, 23 of 37. 1 threw 2 interceptions, 1 threw 5 touchdowns. Not a big difference. It's just execution. Raheem Morris and Jimmy, if it ain't, I can stomach taking Zach Robinson as offensive coordinator next year, because I do think when he's right, it's right, but when it's wrong and it's bad. Kirk Cousins just can't move
for me.
I don't know if I can take Jimmy Lake anymore at defensive coordinator. He was awful. I've seen more regression in our defense. What the fuck? I ain't even got it pulled up. I'm pulling it up. Our DBs were running in circles. You know how when your controller go dead?
Wait. I know exactly what that. Go to damn D. That's that one.
You know when your controller goes dead? When you playing Madden and you do a spin move and it just be spinning because the controller dead like this? That's exactly. Look, I'm telling y'all, D. Alford, and this was not the first time. Now I will say it was a breakdown on the defense, but look at that. You got because he was playing zone. But watch this. What did we get turned into?
First of all, y'all don't know when he opened his hips. He's gonna backpedal back away from the ball. Look, he took a step back and then said, "Oh,
yeah, but the ball is in the air."
Right.
The ball is in the air here.
Anytime that your back is to the man who you're supposed to be covering, it's over. Now, I will say, and I still believe it, and I think that he should be available. Ryan Nielsen, come on back. Come on home. Come on home. Come on home. I know you don't like it in Jacksonville. We will get you a new crib in Atlanta.
That shit, dog. My nigga is on all fours, dog. And I done said the N-word. If you're listening, we got 30 viewers. I'm sorry. I don't normally use that amongst the company, but we here. He's on all fours and looking like where you supposed to be. And they baited you because Jesse Bates. And what's frustrating about Jimmy Lake? I'm starting now. What's frustrating about Jimmy Lake, y'all? Jimmy Lake, Minnesota didn't do nothing special. They didn't pull out no trick plays. All they did was motion Justin Jefferson away from AJ Terrell. That's all they did the whole game. Motion Justin Jefferson away from AJ Terrell. Touchdown. Motion Jefferson away from AJ Terrell. Touchdown. Okay, you gonna put AJ Terrell and Justin Jefferson? Motion Jordan Addison away from AJ Terrell. Touchdown. Motion Jordan Addison. Mike Hughes. They benched Mike Hughes in the second quarter. Brought him back because we sucked. Benched him in the third quarter. Brought him back and benched him in the fourth quarter. I ain't never seen nobody get benched in 3 quarters in one game.
I feel so bad for AJ Terrell.
Sign that big ass contract.
It's like no. I feel bad for him because he's handcuffed.
Stuck.
Wherever I am, but this is the thing as a coach. You have to figure that out by halftime. Wherever he is, they're not throwing the ball.
Well, what in the fuck is there to figure out? You didn't get no quarterback. You ain't draft nobody. You ain't get nobody in free agency. There's nothing to figure out. I like Clark Phillips. Dwight Phillips. What's his name? Clark Phillips. I like Clark Phillips. He's a nickelback. Him and D. Alford should fuse together like anime and become one really good nickelback. That's what they should be. You still ain't get no cornerback number 2.
He gotta go. He's got to go. He had like
Mike Hughes is 32.
I'm okay with Clark Phillips. Hughes gotta go.
I said it. Everything I said. See, and y'all, this is God talking to me in my ear hole right now. He told me, be steadfast in your convictions and don't waver. Quoted it as in the Bible. And I literally was like, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Kirk Cousins going to pan out. We don't really need to get another corner because we going to address the pass rush. I said it in the summer. I said it at the beginning of the year. I said it at free agency 3 times, and I still ain't believe myself. And lo and behold, every week since then, I've been saying it. The moves that you did not make are kicking your ass on the field. You know who else got better? The Bills. You know who got better? The Eagles. You know, even though their defense has gotten better, I ain't gonna say their offense. Their defense got better. You know who else got better? The goddamn Lions. The Lions are the number 1 team in the league, and they added to the pass rush after they got hurt. They got Zadarius Smith, who had 2 sacks on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. They lost Aiden Hutchinson, and it's like,
cool. And the crazy thing is, you can't say who, because he's probably the number 3 defensive end in the league right now. Defensive lineman in the league, but you can't say who. But the way they playing, you're like, oh, I ain't gonna lie to you. I watched the Lions last weekend, and I forgot Aiden Hutchinson wasn't playing.
Correct. I mean, at this point, me and Reggie, if y'all haven't figured it out by now, pissed off with the Falcons. There's not really a good answer because it's just disappointment. It's not hate. It's not anger. It's just, what are y'all doing? Now I am
fired.
Reggie. I do think that
Kirk,
you probably make it.
Oh, yeah.
You might make it to next season, but you won't make it through the second half of next season.
Boy, you might not make it to January, and we are December 10th.
Now, see, I don't want this. I don't want to stick Michael Penix in now.
You say
in this situation. I don't want to ruin him in a team that I don't want to make it like he's got to be the savior at this point. Like, hey, come save us. I don't think that's fair. I don't like that at all. I think that if this is the horse that got you to the dance, you was sticking with him when y'all was up. Then ride the horse out and make a decision at the end of the season. Michael Penix Jr., bide your time, but don't take this BS. Also, we gotta fix the offensive line, and the problem has always been there. We're a good run blocking team. We're not a good pass blocking team, and it makes it difficult to justify that we don't really have that great of offensive line because you're like, oh, well, y'all run block very well. Now, a lot of it is you can send the house at Kirk because you know he can't move.
He gonna be on that spot. He gonna be on that spot no matter what. That's all they did second half. They just blitzed the whole. Brian Flores said, "Forget it."
I also want to be clear: like Michael Penix Jr. has had some kind of devastating injuries,
but he can move.
He can, but I would rather us fix the offensive line pass blocking. And to let him do what he does well, which is sit in the pocket and throw ropes.
Or you can take the 2 running backs that you have and actually use them complementary and then run your play action versus on 2nd and 20 running a play action pass. The fuck you talking about? You gonna do is 2nd and 20 play action pass. They blitzed everybody. Van Ginkel.
I'm so tired of them not putting. if I could get to Raheem Morris and just have a real conversation, he probably wouldn't like the conversation we're gonna have, number one. But bro, I'm gonna tell you, black man to black man, put all the good players on the field at the same time. Put all it don't serve you anymore to not play Algier and Bijan Robinson at the same time. If Drake London, Darnell Mooney, Tyler Algier, and Bijan Robinson are not on the field at the same time, then you're wasting your time. And Ray McLeod. I'm sorry, Kyle Pitts.
Or Charlie Warner.
Charlie Warner is the tight end number one. And I think that the time when Kyle Pitts has run his course.
Terry Fontenot's first draft pick, by the way, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
I get it. I don't hate that pick. I saw what you wanted to do. It just was never executed properly.
When the number 3, he was the number 3 pick, right? That's why
5. It's either 5 or 7. It was 5 or 7.
That's why you hate that pick. That's why you hate that.
No.
Yes.
I don't. Oh. And Kyle Pitts has mostly just been a disappointment. But I understand why you picked him. He just is. He
ain't got the want to. He ain't got the want to. He made it.
He oddly enough reminds me of DeAndre Ayton, where it's like you look the part, but don't play the part. You let Brock Bowers show up. You let Sam Laporta show up.
You let Charlie Warner and what's the other dude that just left? That just went to Miami.
Yeah, I know you're talking about him. Arthur Smith's favorite.
Yeah. Now, shout out to you. Now, we may have to apologize to Arthur Smith because we was cussing him out. Why he ain't giving the ball to? He may have seen something. Jonnu Smith.
No. Yes, Jonnu. Now, Arthur Smith. No, I didn't forget about you. What you did, I don't want back. But Kyle Pitts, if they move out in a different direction, you know who Kyle Pitts is to me? Cam Reddish.
Mm-hmm.
They gave you a chance.
That first year.
They gave you chance after chance after chance after chance. I feel differently about people who, if you weren't given a chance because of something, you were given every chance in the world. You had one good season with Matt Ryan, and that's been it. You don't block. You drop too many passes. You're not out there doing the other parts of the game well enough. No, I'm sorry. You're not, and you're a Gator. You're not a tough football player. You're not a mean football player. You're not a killer. You're not a leader. You not it.
You're a Dan Mullen Gator.
It pains me to say that. Yeah.
He agreed because I was right, but you let a bulldog come and take your spot. Charlie Warner is the best tight end right now. He made a catch against Minnesota. I was like, oh, they're gonna start throwing you the ball more. And he played fullback / tight end. I was like, oh, okay.
And he's gonna be cheaper. And I don't have to pay him a ton of money.
Now it sucks because we should have traded you at the trade deadline if that's what we were gonna do. Because I think Cincinnati offered us a 3rd round pick for you, if I'm not mistaken.
You're non-existent.
But it is what it is.
I hate to say that about our team, but like let's look at him. Vikings 1 reception, 14 yards. Chargers 0. Broncos 1 reception for the season, 36 receptions, 508 yards, 3 touchdowns.
I'm gonna put 50% on him, 25% on Kirk because that Chargers game, I mean, he threw 4 interceptions. Zach Robinson, dog. Oh, also, wait, let's stop here because I want to throw this in here because I told you it was gonna happen. Wait, hold on. I told you it was gonna happen. I said it, and you said hell no in the last segment. And I'm gonna read this out loud so I can see your face. Duke's starting quarterback Malik Murphy plans to enter the transfer portal after leading Duke to the 9-3 season. 10:30 p.m. released by Bleacher Report, ESPN, and On3. Told you. I told you.
He also only needs 3 touchdowns to break a Duke passing record, which is crazy because ain't that where Daniel Jones went to school?
Yeah. Scam. I tell you, man, it's good to be white.
Never been good. It's so many.
Oh, it's good to be white. You ain't got to do nothing. Could you imagine? You know what it's like to just exist and be thought of as superior, as just exist. Daniel Jones ain't do nothing. He is a 4.5 40 running. Could you imagine if a black quarterback ran a 4.5 and had his stats in college, and they would be like, "Oh, he's great." No, you would say, "Oh, he's going to the UFL." That's what you get.
He has never been good. And how you never been good and then get a contract is mind blowing. The last time you was good was high school. That's crazy.
Was he good in high school? I'm sure we could Google it. He's it ain't like
cares?
he ain't go to now. How good was he?
Clearly not that good, but at least Trevor Lawrence is good at Clemson. I've seen Trevor Lawrence be good before.
Now, was he? Hindsight, I'm about to pull a Norwood. Was he? Or was he surrounded by literally everybody? He was surrounded by everybody. T. Higgins.
Well, they love
Travis Etienne. The whole defensive line got drafted. You remember that whole Christian Wilkins and all that whole D line got drafted.
That was the boy doing the split.
Hey, we ain't heard from you out there in Oakland either, or LA. I'm sorry, Las Vegas, wherever they are. They've been in 4 places in 3 years.
They didn't re-sign any of those guys back. But
Cleveland Farrell.
At the end of the day, we're done here.
Fuck
Falcons. Yeah, Falcons do or don't do whatever you want to.
You went mute.
Fire you.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, they're going to fire you anyway. But ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of the football segment. We're upset. Well, hold on. Before we do that, who the Falcons play next? On Monday Night Football, we play the Brock Bowers Raiders. The Las Vegas Bowers is who we play with no quarterback. If we lose this game, you going to have to bitch Kirk Cousins. If we lose this game, you have to bitch him. You have to. You can't lose this game.
Reggie. If we lose this game, Raheem Morris, you need to bench yourself.
Think so?
It's over. Yeah. You lose to the Raiders and Aiden O'Connell's leg fell off.
Literally. They just moved him. He had to be carted off in an air cast, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. If you can't beat the Raiders, hey.
And the Raiders can run the ball. That dude, Sincere McCormick, was kicking the Chiefs' ass. The Raiders should have won that game.
I mean this from the bottom of my heart. If you lose to the Raiders and they fire you, you fire. You fired ass, son. Good luck.
They're not gonna fire. They're not gonna fire Raheem after year one unless they want to go get Belichick, which would just be just.
Oh, you want to know? You want to know what the irony of this is? You know who's going to be the quarterback for the Raiders? I just thought about it and I looked again.
Who?
Desmond Ridder.
400 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a total.
Oh, no. You drunk now. now, like, we're not going to do that either now. We know Dez. If anybody know Dez, we know Dez.
We just had a whole graphic of how we got Dez and Kirk. They're the same person.
Yeah. But Dez threw the ball on his back.
Barrel roll, Dez. Nope, that was not Dez. That was Marcus Mariota. Don't do Dez like that. Dez just threw it to the other team every time.
Well, I mean, that's what our quarterbacks love to do. All right, man. Hey, the Hawks have had a good run, so we're going to talk about that.
Until next time.
What should they do? Like, follow, subscribe. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, boy.